Hey guys, so in our previous tutorial we have created a login API in our Node.js project, as you can see over here. So this is our login API. So whenever a user hits this login API, the user will get logged in into a system. Okay, so in this video tutorial we are going to implement this API in our Flutter application, through which a user can log in through our Flutter app. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so now we are in our Render Studio IDE and here is my login page. So let me run the project on my device and show you my mobile screen. Okay, so the app is getting installed in my device. So until that, let me introduce you with the login screen, what all is been done over here. So here we have two text field where the user can enter email and password. Okay, and there is a button from which a user can log in himself by clicking on the button. So you can see over here. Okay, so I think so the app got launched. Okay, so you can see there is a sign in page, email, password and a login button, and user can navigate to registration page from here itself. Okay, so now so we need to create a function through which we are going to make hit to our backend login API, and through this we are going to get users signed in our Flutter app. Okay, so let's do it. So here let's create a function. So let's name it as login user. Okay, and let's create this function above somewhere over here. Void login user. Okay, so login user. So the function will be of type async. Okay, and we have already created the functions, that is to make a post request to our backend server. So I will just copy the code from there itself. Okay, so you can see, first of all I'm just checking if the user has entered the data in text field or no. So let me copy this thing from the registration page, and here I'm going to create an object in which I'm going to store my email address and password that is been entered in the email address and password text field. So I'll just copy this also. Okay, request body. Okay, and then here I'm making a HTTP call by making use of HTTP package with post method, and here I'm just defining my URL to which the API should get hit. So we'll just copy this also. Okay, so I'm just pasting it just for time saving purpose. Okay, so it is request body over here. Okay, and then we need to get the response that we received from the front end backend, sorry. Okay, so here, okay, so let me show you the response that we get from the backend. So we get status as true, and inside token we get user ID and password. Okay, so the same thing we are going to get in this request body, that has been decoded by using JSON decode. Okay, okay, so as we get the response, we need to check if the status was successful or no. So here, if JSON response, okay, so you can see we get response as status true. So here status, so if the status is true, then we are going to navigate the user to dashboard page where he can enter or create his to-do list. Okay, and else we are going to just print some message on the screen. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, so for now I am just printing it on my console. So you can just show a toast message or anything, you can just replace it over here. Okay, so now if the status was success, that is the login process was success, then we need to store the user token in somewhere in the application itself. So for that we can make use of shared preference. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so just go to pub specification.yaml file, and under dependency add shared preference. Okay, so this is the package that we are going to make use of. Okay, so with this we also need JWT decoder. Okay, so this one. Okay, so add this to libraries and hit this pub-get button. Okay, so now here we need to initialize our shared preference. So let's initialize it over here. Okay, so let shared preference. Okay, so shared preference got imported automatically. So I'll just name it as preference prefers. Okay, okay, so we need to initialize it in our init method, init state. So create a function for to initialize our shared preference. Okay, so preference is equal to await shared preference dot get instance. Okay, so now you can make use of this instance to store the data in our shared preference. Okay, so for that here in a login of the successful login of the user, we need to store his data somewhere. Okay, so now as we know that our token is stored in token key, so let's use that. Okay, so variable, so I will just name it as my token is equal to JSON response. Okay, so in my token variable, our token is being stored. Okay, so let's use it to store it in our shared preference now. Okay, so for that preference dot set string, we can just define a key as token, and inside value we can just pass this variable my token. Okay, so in this key of our shared preference, our token is been stored. Okay, so immediately after this we need to navigate the user to our dashboard page. So let's create a dashboard page over here. Okay, okay, so import material.dart stateful widget dashboard page. Okay, so inside this dashboard page we need to pass our token that is been generated, so that we can make use of this token to get the username, sorry, the email address and user ID. Okay, so from this login page we need to pass the data to our dashboard page. Okay, so for that, first of all we need to accept the token over here. So over here, so let's token, let's create a variable. So I'll just name it as final. Okay, and here let's accept it. Okay, so at the rate required this dot token. Okay, so now I can just send it from here by making use of navigator. So let me take the navigation code. Okay, so this is navigation code. Okay, so after successful login, I need to navigate the user to dashboard page. And here we are going to pass our token. Okay, so as we are going to pass the token data to dashboard page, so let's make use of this token data and show the user email address at the center of our dashboard screen, just for to check if the token is working or not. Okay, so you can see over here I am passing the token. So inside this we have a email address being stored. Okay, so in the dashboard page, first of all we need to import JWT decoder that we have installed in pub specification.yaml file. Okay, so you can just decode the token that we received. Okay, so now here inside init state, let's do it. Okay, so variable email Okay, so let's do it late initialize. Okay, so now here map string dynamic, so JWT decoded. Okay, so you can just name it anything, JWT decoder dot decode, and here let's use this token. Okay, token. So to use this we must make use of widget dot token, something like this. Okay, so now email email is equal to JWT decoded token. From this we are going to take email ID, and now let's use this email ID and show it in our center of our screen. Okay, so scaffold widget, so body property, so let's make use of column main axis alignment dot center. Okay, so here children. Okay, so let's use text property, and here I will just print the email address. Okay, and let's make this column at the center. Okay, so let's check if this is working or no. Hot refresh. Okay, so let me start my backend. Npm run do. Okay, so this is my mobile screen. Hot refresh. Okay. Okay, so as I remember, my username was Rajat123 at the rate gmail.com. Okay, so the password is 123. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so when I press on the login button, okay, so it is saying app crashed. I think so I made some mistake. Okay, so it is saying duplicate key entry in the collection user email address. So okay, so let me go to my project. Okay, so here I am making use of registration. So instead of registration I must make use of login API. So let's do that over here. So final login is equal to URL plus the login API. Okay, so you can see in the backend we have created a login API. So this is the URL. Okay, so we must make use of this in place of this registration. Okay, so now let's stop our app and reinstall our app again. Okay, so the app got installed on my device. Okay, so let me restart my backend also. Okay, so now let's check by entering my email address and password. Okay, so I'm just hitting the login button. So let's check the response. Okay, so now you can see as we have defined, we are in our backend, the dashboard page, and here we are going to show our email address of a signed user. Okay, so now we need to keep our user logged in into our Flutter application until the session or the token get expired. Okay, so we can do it in our main.dart page. So whenever the user revisits our app after some time, he should be logged in, and as our session expired after 1 hour as defined in our backend. Okay, so you can see after 1 hour, so if it is expired then he should be automatically navigated to login page when the session has expired. Okay, so we can keep the user signed in our Flutter application from the main.dart page. Okay, so now let's do the code over here. Okay, so to keep the user logged in our Flutter application, we must check if there is any data stored in our set preference or no. So we can do it before starting our actual app in a main function over here. Okay, so first of all, we must initialize our set preference and check if there is any data or a token been stored in the set preference or no. Okay, so we can do it over here. So widget flutter binding dot ensure initialized. Okay, So here set preference, so I will just name this as props is equal to await set preference dot get instance. Okay, so by this I'm just creating an instance of set preference class. Okay, so now we need to pass this set preference token to get the token that is been stored in our set preference and pass it to our app. Okay, so let's do it over here. So variable token. Okay, so here we must create a constructor, so we can do it something like const my app. Okay, so per key. Okay, so here required this dot token, and we must also accept a key over here. Okay, and now from in this my app we need to pass our token that is being stored in our set preference, so we can do it over here. So we can do it something like preferences dot get string, and our key is token. Okay, so after successful login, if we see over here, I am storing my token that is been written by my backend in this key. I'm just storing my token. Okay, so that I'm accessing over here. So I'm just passing it to my app over here. Okay, so now let's use it to navigate the user depending on the token data. If it is expired, we are going to send the user to login page, and if it is not expired, we are going to send the user to dashboard page. Okay, so we can do it over here now. Okay, so JWT decoder dot is expired is equal to false. Okay, so if it is equal to false, then we are going to navigate the user to dashboard page. Okay, and if it has expired, so if it is true, then we are going to navigate the user to sign in page. Okay, so let's hot reload and check. Okay, so I will just stop it and reinstall the app again. So here, yeah. Okay. Okay, so our app has been running on my device. You can see over here. So I was directly navigated to dashboard page as our token has not expired. And if the token has expired, we will get navigated to our login page. Okay, so let me stop our app now. Okay, so I'm just stopping it. So you can see nothing has been running over here. Okay, so I will just reopen the app again now. Okay. Okay, so you can see our app got redirected to our dashboard page as our token has not expired yet. Okay, so that's all for this video tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe Proto Coders. Thank you.